And this time I'm going to give you my recap and review of Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 4, Episode 5, entitled Level 5 Transporter Accident. It was directed by Jordan Canning, and it was an episode that was not taken seriously. It was more of a guilty pleasure episode. So bad it's actually good, because I actually enjoyed this episode. Despite the goofiness and silliness, I found the episode to be fun. Okay, let's begin with the recap, shall we? Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 4 Episode 5 Level 5 Transporter Accident gives us one of the most weirdest, bizarre episodes ever. Yes, I would say this episode is very, very, very weird and bizarre and entertaining. Okay, the episode opens with a nice tribute to Star Trek's 60th anniversary before Spock reveals that the Enterprise is heading toward Vulcan. He had planned to spend time studying logic, but Orion pirate activity has Starfleet ordering the Enterprise to help keep the Rizonian space safe. That delay turns out to be the least of Spock's problems. Scotty, Spock, and Little Ricky. Scotty is determined to push the transporter beyond its previous limits. Simulations suggest they can successfully transport something 27,000 kilometers, but Scotty wants to reach nearly 30,000 kilometers and send something aboard the USS Whitmere. His motivation is highly personal because engineer Declan Glenilda holds the transporter record and also beats Scotty for valedictorian at the Academy by 1/16th of a point. Scotty decides the perfect test object is Little Ricky, a creepy stuffed puppet from his childhood that he wants to transport directly into Declan's quarters. What could possibly go wrong? La'an ends with Spock. Before the puppet madness begins, Spock's personal life takes a hit when La'an conceals another one of their dance sessions. Spock admits that dancing has helped him focus lately, especially after what happened during the Griffin mission. But La'an believes they have been moving into different directions. She tells Spock that their romance had reached its end and encourages him to focus on himself. Spock tries to control his emotions as she walks away, but the breakup clearly affects him at a time when he is already struggling to quiet his mind. Spock turns to the plane and tells her about his experience aboard the Griffin. She points out that Spock wanted to explore his human side when the relationship ended, yet now his connection to Vulcan logic has weakened. T'Pring agrees to help when she comes aboard the USS Enterprise, provided that he can guarantee that there will be no hijinks. That guarantee does not last long. Captain Pike really loves his chair. Elsewhere, Captain Pike is ridiculously excited about his new captain's chair. Designed by Pelia, the fully biometric chair allows Pike to control several parts of the Enterprise, using his hands and voice commands, and happily shows number one everything his new favorite toy can do. This, of course, was a scene that was played for laughs. This is one of the parts of why this episode wasn't taken seriously. But Anson Mountain, the actor who plays Captain Pike, definitely made it work. Captain Pike made this scene work. And then it says, as the chair soon becomes unexpectedly important when almost everyone aboard loses the ability to operate the Enterprise normally. Pike's fancy new technology becomes one of the crew's few advantages. The Enterprise becomes a puppet show. And this is when things really get weird. Or Muppets, whatever you want to call them. Spock, yeah, they all turn into Muppets. Spock takes his shuttle out to set up the final relay, Boyle. The final relay, Boyle. The final relay, Boyle, for Scotty's transport. The final relay, Bioli, for Scotty's transporter experiment, and Scotty sends little Ricky on his way. Something immediately goes wrong. Alarms sound and Spock watches the Enterprise briefly disappear before it reappears. When Spock returns, he discovers that nearly everyone aboard has been transformed into a soft stuffed puppet. Pike is a puppet, the bridge crew is made of puppets, and even T'Pring has fallen victim to the accident. Scotty believes little Ricky's monster becomes cross-wired inside the transporter buffer, causing the transporter energy to spread throughout the Enterprise. Spock classifies the accident as level 5, while Scotty helpfully points out at least it was not level 6. The transformation creates more than an appearance problem. M'Benga and Chapel do not know exactly how the accident has affected everyone medically, while La'an cannot operate the weapons and Uhura cannot properly use her communications console because the ship does not recognize their puppet fingers. Running the Enterprise without functional fingers turns out to be a problem Starfleet apparently never planned for. Spock has to keep the Enterprise running. Admiral Abram tells Pike the nearest ship capable of helping them is 2 days away and orders the crew not to reveal the puppet situation. With Orion pilots already nearby, letting anyone know the Enterprise is being operated by stuffed animals would probably be a terrible tactical decision. Because Spock was outside the Enterprise when the accident occurred, he remains normal and becomes essential to keeping the ship optional. Pike's biometric chair allows Spock to control several systems while Scotty and the medical team work on reversing the transporter accident. Unfortunately, Spock already emotionally frazzled before any of this happened. Now he is trying to keep the Enterprise full of puppets alive while dealing with the Orion threat, and his usually reliable logic is being pushed to the limit. The puppets fight back, or the Muppets fight back, however you pronounce them. The puppets fight back. Things get worse when the Orions become a direct threat and Spock is eventually taken captive. With one puppet crew member compromised, everyone else has to figure out how to fight back using the bodies they currently have. T'Pring becomes one of the biggest surprises, since after arriving on Enterprise, insisting there be no hijinks, she ultimately realizes that logic alone will not solve their problem and begins embracing the crew's unpredictable approach. The puppets regroup for a surprise attack, and the plan even evolves a puppet to human mind. The crew eventually saves the Enterprise and finds a way back to normal, with an unexpected twist helping restore the logic of the outer madness. The experience also leads to the past romance being rekindled, when little Ricky gets one final laugh when the question of who ends up with the creepy puppet is finally answered. And the episode ends where all this was a dream of Spock's. The episode ends with Spock waking up. So all that happened this episode was just a dream of Spock. And I would rate this episode 4.5 stars, 2 thumbs up, and a solid 7 out of 10. It was a good episode, but it wasn't the best episode. And in my opinion, I enjoyed this episode. It was a guilty pleasure because it was a comedy episode. It was a funny episode. It didn't take itself seriously, and the episode knew what it was doing. I would put this episode right up there with the guilty pleasure episodes, such as the season 3 premiere Star Trek original series episode Spock's Brain, which I always loved. I know that's voted as one of the worst episodes of the original series, but I do love Spock's Brain because that's an episode that's not taken seriously, knows what it's doing. And I would also put this up with one of the season 2 episodes of Star Trek TNG, Up the Long Ladder and the Outrageous Okana. But yeah, this was a fun episode. It wasn't a great episode. It wasn't the greatest episode. In my opinion, it definitely wasn't the worst episode. It was a guilty pleasure episode. That's what it was. A solid 7 out of 10. Guilty pleasure. Comment down below in the comment section. Tell me what you thought about this episode, what you liked about it. You stay classy, live long and prosper, and peace out. And I will be here back week. I will be here next Friday or Saturday to give you my recap and review of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Season 4, Episode 6. Thank you for watching.